Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about project procurement management. Procurement in terms of project management is when you need to purchase, rent or contract with some external resource to meet your project goal. These relationships, like any process in the project, need management. Today we will talk about, is procurement management part of project management? What is project procurement management? What are the importance of project procurement management? What are the steps in project management process? Let us start with the relation of project management and procurement management. We know there are 10 knowledge areas in project management, and procurement management is one of those. So what is the procurement management? Procurement management includes the process meant to purchase or acquire the necessary products and or services from outside the project team that will be needed during the project life cycle, as well as the management and control processes required to develop and administer agreements such as contracts, purchase orders, memoranda of agreements, or internal service level agreements.
The next slide, we want to speak about the procurement management plan importance. The importance of having a procurement management plan is that it defines what you need from the project that cannot be provided by the organization. This means that you have a greater understanding for planning the whole project. That includes managing the suppliers who are key to keeping your project schedule. Incorporate stakeholders. Another positive is that a procurement plan can involve stakeholders and get their input in the process. Stakeholders are the reason for the project, and their satisfaction is a measure of success of the project. They can express requirements they want for procurement. Informed strategy. Without a procurement management plan, there can be no procurement strategy, and without a strategy, there can be no plan. They both inform the other and involve things like market surveys to better define the procurement necessity to fulfill the project. Now we want to speak about the project procurement management process. First, the planning process. This process involves the creation of the official procurement management plan. The selection processes. These processes involve comparing vendors' advantages, disadvantages, and contractual offering. The administration process. This process refers to the tools and the processes used to manage relationship with vendors. The closing process. This process is about documenting weakness, successful process, and summarizing the project for future needs.
Let's talk about the planning process. As discussed, this process involves the creation of the official procurement management plan. We'll discuss what are the inputs that we give. The inputs are scope baseline, requirement documentation, teaming agreements, risk register, risk related contract decisions, activity resource requirements, project schedule, activity cost estimates, cost performance baseline, enterprise environmental factors, organizational process assets. The tools and technology used are make or buy analysis, expert judgment, and contract types. And the outputs derived from them are the procurement management plan, procurement statements of work, make or buy decisions, procurement documents, score, selection criteria, and change requests.
Let us go into details with the make or buy analysis tool. So by make or buy analysis, we mean figuring out whether or not you should be contracting the work or doing it by yourself. It could also mean deciding whether to build your own solution to your problem or buy one that is already available. Let us assume that we are a bicycle supplier. We need to make 2000 brakes. We can buy those brakes from a supplier for $15 each, and it will cost us $30,000. We can also make those brakes in our own factory, and the cost will be $10,000 direct materials, $9,000 for direct labor, $5,000 for variable overhead, $4,000 for depreciation of machine and equipment, $4,000 for allocation of general overhead, $32,000 in total. Now we see that buying from a supplier seems to be the right choice because we are spending $2,000 less. However, if we look into the details, then we will see not all the costs are relevant. So we need to find out the relevant cost for making those brakes only. For example, the allocation of general overhead is not relevant in a sense that even if we are not producing these brakes, still that overhead will cost us somewhere in the factory. The depreciation of the machine and equipment, if we are using the existing machineries, then this depreciation will incur in any case. So we can clearly see these two costs are not directly related to making the brakes. However, the three of direct materials, direct labor and variable overhead, these three costs are directly linked, and they are in total $24,000. Now this becomes very interesting because the supplier is willing to give us in $30,000. So if we produce this in our own factory, we are actually spending $6,000 less. So this is a time when the make or buy decision becomes very interesting. So clearly, if we are considering only relevant costs, then producing it in our own factory seems right. So this is a make or buy example.
Moving on to the conduct procurements. In conduct procurements, we have inputs, tools and technology, and the output derived. So the inputs here are project management plan, procurement documents, source selection criteria, qualified seller list, seller proposals, project documents, make or buy decisions, teaming agreements, organizational process assets. Tools are the bidder conference, proposal evaluation techniques, independent estimates, expert judgment, advertising, internet search, procurement negotiations. The outputs derived are the selected sellers, procurement contract award, resource calendars, change requests, project management plan updates, and project document update.
Let us look at one tool for conduct procurements: bidder conferences. Now, bidder conferences are meetings between the buyer and all prospective sellers prior to submittal of a bid or proposal. These are more in the line of getting requirements and understanding the market situation. Usually big projects will always call bidder conferences to understand the readiness of the industry and what kind of requirements the company can float for the project. They are used to ensure that all prospective sellers have a clear and common understanding.
So next we'll speak about administer procurements. This is the process of managing procurement relationships, monitoring contract performance, and making changes and corrections as needed. The key inputs to this process are procurement documents, project management plan, contract, performance reports, approved change requests, and work performance information. There are various techniques used for administering procurement, and those are contract change control system, procurement performance reviews, inspections and audits, performance reporting, payment systems, claims administration, and records management system. The key outputs of this process is procurement documentation, organizational process asset updates, change requests, and project management plan updates.
Let us also look into one tool for administer procurements: procurement performance reviews. Now, procurement performance reviews is a structured review of the seller's progress to deliver project scope and quality within cost and on schedule as compared to the contract.
Let's talk about close procurements. Close procurement is the process of completing the project procurement to support the close project or a specific phase process. The key inputs to the close procurements are project management plan and procurement documentation. There are various techniques used for closing procurements are procurement audits, negotiated settlements, and records management system. The key outputs of the process is close procurements and organizational process assets updates.
Let us look at one particular tool for close procurements, procurement audits, to identify successes and failures that warrant recognition in the preparation or administration of procurement contracts of the project.
I hope this video has helped you learn more about the procurement management and procurement processes. Thank you for your time.